Princess Zara stood at the massive window of her spaceship, watching Earth grow bigger and bigger. The blue planet looked so small from space, but she knew it held billions of people who had never seen aliens before. Her heart was beating fast, not from fear, but from excitement mixed with worry. She was the third daughter of the mighty emperor, and today was the biggest day of her life. The emperor had chosen her, not her older sisters, to make first contact with humans. This was huge. No one from her world had ever met humans face to face before. Everything she did today would be remembered forever in both their histories. Zara touched the crystal pendant hanging around her neck. It was a family treasure that had been passed down for thousands of years. The crystal was supposed to glow when she met her life partner, her soulmate. But at 25 Earth years old, it had never even flickered. This made some people in the royal court whisper behind her back. They wondered if something was wrong with her. Her people, the Valdorians, were different from humans in many ways. Their skin had a blue tint that sparkled with natural light patterns. These patterns showed their emotions and social status. Princess Zara's patterns were more complex than most people because of her royal blood. She also had special mental powers that let her read thoughts and feelings, though she always tried to be respectful about using them. The spaceship was unlike anything humans had ever built. It was made from living metal that could repair itself and change shape when needed. The walls seemed to breathe softly, and everything had a warm, welcoming glow. Her crew of 50 had been training for this mission for 2 years. They knew how important it was to make a good first impression. Captain Vex, her most trusted advisor, walked up beside her. He was an older Valdorian with silver patterns on his skin that showed his wisdom and experience. "Princess, we will reach the landing site in 1 hour. The humans are waiting for us at their military base in the mountains." Zara nodded but kept looking out the window. She could see the white peaks of mountains and green forests below. "Tell me again about their warriors, Vex. I want to understand them better." Vex pulled up a glowing screen that showed images and information about human soldiers. "They are fascinating, Princess. Unlike other species we know, humans fight with both their minds and their hearts. They use strategy like we do, but they also have something we call emotional fire. When they protect something they care about, they become incredibly strong and brave." The images showed human soldiers in training, working together as teams, and helping each other in difficult situations. Zara felt drawn to these pictures in a way she couldn't explain. There was something about the way humans carried themselves, the determination in their eyes, that made her feel strange inside. "This one," Vex pointed to a file, "is part of their security team that will be protecting us during the meetings. His name is Tyler Kane. He has been in many battles and saved the lives of his fellow soldiers many times. The humans chose their best people to meet us." Zara looked at the picture of Tyler and felt her crystal pendant grow slightly warm against her skin. She quickly covered it with her hand, hoping Vex hadn't noticed. The human in the picture had kind but strong eyes, and something about his face made her feel like she had seen him before, maybe in dreams she couldn't quite remember. "Princess, are you feeling well?" Vex asked with concern. "Your light patterns just changed." Zara realized her skin had started glowing brighter, something that happened when Valdorians felt strong emotions. She took a deep breath and made the patterns return to normal. "I'm just nervous about the mission. This is so important for both our worlds." The truth was, she had been having strange dreams lately. Dreams about a world with blue skies and green plants. About someone calling her name in a language she didn't understand. She had never told anyone about these dreams, not even her closest friends. Royal family members weren't supposed to have unexplained visions. As their ship got closer to Earth, Zara could see the military base where they would land. It looked small and simple compared to Valdorian buildings, but she could sense the careful planning and strong defenses. Humans might not have psychic powers, but they were clearly very smart and well organized. The communication device on the wall started glowing. "Princess, we are receiving a welcome message from the human leaders," announced the ship's computer in a musical voice. "Put it on the main screen," Zara commanded. The image of a human woman in a formal uniform appeared. "Welcome to Earth, Princess Zara and honored guests. I am General Patricia Mills. We are excited and honored to meet you. Our best people are here to make sure your visit goes smoothly and safely." Zara stepped forward and bowed slightly in the Valdorian way. "Thank you, General Mills. We bring greetings of peace and friendship from the Valdorian Empire. We hope today begins a long and happy relationship between our peoples." As the communication ended, Zara felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness wash over her. In just a few minutes, she would be the first of her kind to walk on Earth's soil and breathe Earth's air. She would meet humans face to face and try to build a bridge between their very different worlds. Little did she know that down on the surface, Tyler Kane was having his own strange feelings about meeting the alien visitors. He had been having dreams too, dreams about crystal cities under purple skies and a voice that seemed to call directly to his heart. Neither the princess nor the warrior knew that their meeting had been written in the stars long before either of them was born. The landing went smoother than anyone expected. Princess Zara's ship touched down on the concrete pad like a feather falling on water. As the doors opened with a soft whisper, the first alien visitors to Earth stepped out into the Colorado mountain air. Tyler Kane stood at attention with the other security guards, trying to look professional while his heart hammered in his chest. He had been in combat zones that felt less intense than this moment. Something was happening to him that he couldn't understand or control. The princess appeared in the doorway, and Tyler felt like the world stopped spinning. She was beautiful in a way that was completely alien, yet somehow familiar. Her blue skin caught the sunlight and created patterns that moved like living art. When she stepped down onto Earth's soil for the first time, her whole body seemed to glow with a soft inner light. General Mills stepped forward with the welcome committee. "Your Highness, welcome to Earth. We are honored by your visit." Princess Zara smiled, and Tyler noticed that her smile was warm and genuine, not the fake diplomatic smile he had seen politicians use. "Thank you for this wonderful welcome. Your world is even more beautiful than our scientists told us." The formal ceremonies began in a large meeting room that had been specially prepared for the occasion. Human and Valdorian flags hung side by side, and translators worked to make sure everyone understood each other perfectly. Tyler was supposed to stay near the back of the room with the other guards, but he found himself watching the princess instead of scanning for threats. Every time she spoke, her voice seemed to reach something deep inside him. When she laughed, at a joke from one of the human diplomats, Tyler felt warmth spread through his chest. This was crazy. He was a professional soldier, trained to stay focused no matter what was happening around him. But then the princess looked in his direction, and their eyes met across the crowded room. The effect was immediate and overwhelming. Tyler felt like he had been struck by lightning, but instead of pain, there was recognition. It was like seeing someone he had been searching for his whole life without knowing he was searching. The princess went completely still, her glowing skin patterns flickering wildly before settling into colors Tyler had never seen before. Captain Vex, standing beside the princess, noticed the change immediately. His eyes went wide with surprise, and he whispered something urgent in the Valdorian language. Other aliens in the room started murmuring among themselves, pointing at their princess with expressions of amazement. Dr. Elizabeth Warren, the lead scientist on the human team, was taking readings with her instruments when they started going crazy. "That's impossible," she muttered, checking the screens again. "I'm detecting some kind of energy field between the princess and—" She looked up and followed the direction of the readings. "Sergeant Kane?" Tyler barely heard her. He was still, locked in that moment with the princess, feeling like the rest of the room had faded away. Time seemed to move differently, and he could swear he was hearing music that wasn't there, a melody that felt like coming home after a long journey. The princess finally broke eye contact, turning back to the diplomatic discussions. But Tyler could see that she was shaken. Her hands trembled slightly as she reached for her water glass, and her advisor kept shooting worried looks in Tyler's direction. The meetings continued throughout the day, covering trade agreements, cultural exchanges, and Earth's possible membership in something called the Galactic Coalition. But underneath all the formal talk, there was an electric tension that everyone could feel but nobody understood. During a break, Tyler found himself walking past the princess in the hallway. She was studying a human artwork hanging on the wall, her head tilted in curiosity. "It's called a painting," Tyler said softly, surprising himself by speaking. "Humans use colors and brushes to create images that show how we see the world." The princess turned to him, and again that strange connection sparked between them. "It's beautiful. We create art differently on my world, using light and energy. But this has something special. I can feel the emotions of the person who made it." "That's exactly right," Tyler said, amazed. "The artist painted it after losing someone important to him. Most people just see a pretty landscape, but you saw the sadness in it." They stood there for a moment, both feeling like they were having a conversation they had been waiting their whole lives to have. The princess's crystal pendant, hanging at her throat, began to glow with a soft, steady light. "I've been having dreams," she said suddenly, then looked surprised at her own words. "Dreams about a place that looks like this, about someone calling my name." Tyler's breath caught. "I've had dreams too. About crystal cities and purple skies, about someone who needed me, but I never knew who or why." Before either could say more, Captain Vex appeared around the corner. "Princess, you are needed back in the meeting room. The humans want to discuss defense partnerships." As they walked away, Tyler heard the princess say something to her advisor in their language. Vex's response sounded urgent, almost alarmed. Tyler didn't understand the words, but he caught his own name in the conversation. Dr. Warren approached Tyler later that afternoon, her face full of scientific excitement. "Sergeant, I need to ask you something strange. Have you been experiencing any unusual sensations today? Headaches, dizziness, anything out of the ordinary?" Tyler thought about it. "Not exactly. I felt more alert than usual, like my senses are sharper, and I keep getting flashes of images or feelings that don't seem to be mine." "Fascinating," Dr. Warren murmured, making notes on her tablet. "The energy readings I'm getting suggest some kind of connection between you and the princess. I've never seen anything like it." That evening, as the Valdorian delegation prepared to return to their ship, Tyler found himself on guard duty outside their temporary quarters. Through the window, he could see Princess Zara sitting alone, looking up at the stars. Her skin was glowing softly in the darkness, and she seemed lost in thought. Without really deciding to do it, Tyler tapped gently on the window. The princess looked over and smiled, then walked to the window and placed her hand against the glass. Tyler put his hand on the other side, and even through the barrier, he could feel warmth radiating from her palm. Neither of them spoke, but they didn't need to. Something was happening between them that went beyond words, beyond the differences between their species. It was bigger than both of them, and Tyler had the feeling that nothing in either of their lives would ever be the same again. The third day of meetings was supposed to be a celebration. Both humans and Valdorians had planned a special ceremony to show their cultures to each other. Princess Zara would demonstrate Valdorian light dancing, while human musicians would play Earth's most beautiful songs. Everyone was excited about this peaceful exchange, but some people didn't want peace between the two worlds. Tyler was checking the security systems one more time when his radio crackled with urgent warnings. "All units, we have movement on the north perimeter. Unknown vehicles approaching fast." Before he could respond, explosions rocked the building. The lights went out, emergency sirens started wailing, and people began screaming in panic. Through the chaos, Tyler heard General Mills shouting orders over the communication system. "This is not a drill. We are under attack by extremist groups. Protect the Valdorian delegation at all costs." Tyler's training kicked in immediately. He grabbed his weapon and ran toward the main conference room where Princess Zara and her people were supposed to be. The hallways were filled with smoke and debris. Emergency lights cast strange shadows on the walls, making everything look like a nightmare. When he reached the conference room, it was already empty except for overturned chairs and broken glass. His heart sank with fear for the princess's safety. Where was she? Another explosion, closer this time, shook the building so hard that part of the ceiling collapsed. Tyler dove for cover as chunks of concrete crashed down where he had been standing just seconds before. When the dust settled, he realized he was trapped in a section of the building that was cut off from the rest. That's when he heard her voice. "Help! Someone please help us!" Tyler followed the sound and found a doorway blocked by fallen beams. On the other side, he could see Princess Zara and two of her guards trapped in what used to be a storage room. One of the guards was unconscious, and the other was trying to move debris with his bare hands. "Princess, are you hurt?" Tyler called out. "Tyler?" Her voice was filled with relief. "We're trapped, but we're alive. Can you get us out?" Tyler examined the blocked doorway. The beams were too heavy for one person to move, but maybe if they worked together from both sides. "I need you to push while I pull, on the count of 3. As they worked together, something amazing happened. Tyler felt stronger than he ever had before, like energy was flowing into him from somewhere else. At the same time, Princess Zara's mental powers, which had been chaotic from fear and stress, suddenly became clear and focused. With their combined effort, they managed to move the heavy beam just enough to create a small opening. Tyler squeezed through first, then helped pull the princess and her guards to safety. But they weren't safe yet. The building was still under attack, and they could hear gunfire getting closer. The unconscious guard needed medical help, and the other guard had injured his leg badly. "We need to find another way out," Tyler said, looking around the damaged hallway. "The main exits are probably blocked or controlled by the attackers." Princess Zara closed her eyes and concentrated. "I can sense where people are in the building. My mental abilities are working better than they ever have before." She opened her eyes and looked at Tyler with amazement. "It's because of you. When you're near me, everything becomes clearer and stronger." Tyler felt it too. His soldier instincts were sharper, his thinking faster and more focused. It was like they were two pieces of a puzzle that fit perfectly together. "Then let's use that. Can you tell me where the attackers are?" Working as a team, they began making their way through the damaged building. Princess Zara would use her mental powers to sense danger ahead, while Tyler used his military knowledge to find the safest path. When they encountered armed attackers, Tyler's improved reflexes and the princess's ability to predict their movements made them an unstoppable combination. During one intense moment, surrounded by enemies in a stairwell, something extraordinary happened. Princess Zara's crystal pendant suddenly blazed with brilliant light, and Tyler felt power surge through his body like electricity. Together, they moved with perfect coordination, each knowing exactly what the other was going to do before they did it. The attackers didn't stand a chance against their combined abilities. Within minutes, Tyler and the princess had cleared the stairwell and reached the ground floor. But the biggest surprise was waiting for them in the basement archives, where they had taken shelter with the injured guards. Captain Vex, who had been searching frantically for his princess, found them there with tears of joy and amazement in his eyes. "Princess, your pendant," he whispered in their language, then switched to English so Tyler could understand. "It's glowing with the ancient light. The texts speak of this." "What texts?" Princess Zara asked, still breathing hard from their escape. Vex pulled out a small device that projected holographic images of old Valdorian writings. "The prophecies of the great bonding, They tell of connections that cross the stars, of souls that find each other across different species. Look at this passage. The ancient writing appeared in the air, translated into English. When the crystal sings with light eternal, when two hearts beat as one across the void, then shall the bridge be built between worlds, and the darkness that devours stars shall tremble before their united strength. Tyler stared at the glowing words. Are you saying that what's happening between us was predicted thousands of years ago? More than predicted, Vex said softly. It was promised. You two are what we call soul-bonded. Your life energies are connected in ways that science cannot. Fully explain! Princess Zara looked at Tyler, her eyes wide with wonder and fear. That's why I've been having dreams about Earth. That's why you've been dreaming about our world. Our souls have been calling to each other. Before Tyler could respond, rescue teams finally reached them. As they were helped to safety, both Tyler and the princess realized that their lives had changed forever. They weren't just from different worlds anymore. They were two halves of something larger than either could be alone. The attack had been defeated, but the real revelation was just beginning. Whatever force had brought them together was bigger than politics or cultural differences. And according to the ancient prophecies, they were going to need each other for challenges that neither Earth nor the Valdorian Empire could face alone. News of the princess's soul bond with a human warrior spread across the galaxy faster than anyone expected. Within hours of the attack, communication channels between Earth and the Valdorian homeworld were buzzing with heated discussions. What had started as a simple diplomatic mission had become the most talked-about event in galactic history. On the Valdorian homeworld, Emperor Kethvar sat in his crystal throne room, surrounded by holographic displays showing news reports from across the Empire. His daughter's glowing pendant had been caught on camera during the rescue, and every expert in the galaxy was debating what it meant. The Emperor's advisors were split into two angry groups. Lord Commander Vorth, leader of the traditional nobles, paced back and forth with his ceremonial robes flowing behind him. Your Majesty, this is a disaster. A princess of the royal blood cannot bond with an alien. It goes against everything our people believe in. But General Carathon, the Empire's top military leader, disagreed strongly. My lord, did you not see the footage? They fought together like they were one person. The humans' tactical abilities, combined with the princess's psychic powers, created something we've never seen before. This could change everything about how we fight our enemies. Emperor Kethvar watched the recorded footage again, studying how his daughter and the human soldier moved together during the battle. It was like watching a dance that had been rehearsed for years, even though they had only known each other for days. Show me the ancient texts again, the Emperor commanded. The royal scholar, an elderly Valdorian with skin patterns that showed his vast knowledge, projected the prophecies into the air. The writings are clear, Your Majesty. Soul bonds across species have happened before, but only once every 1,000 years. They mark the beginning of great changes in galactic history. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Tyler was facing his own political storm. General Mills had called him into her office 3 times in 2 days, and each conversation was more difficult than the last. Sergeant Kane, I need to understand what's happening to you, she said, reviewing medical reports on her desk. Dr. Warren's tests show changes in your brain patterns that science can't explain. Your reaction times are faster, your strategic thinking has improved dramatically, and somehow you can sense things that should be impossible for humans to detect. Tyler sat stiffly in his chair, still wearing his uniform but feeling like everything familiar about his life was slipping away. Ma'am, I can't explain it either. But I know that when I'm near Princess Zara, I feel more like myself than I ever have before. It's like I was only living half a life until I met her. That's what worries me, Sergeant. Your loyalty has always been to Earth and your fellow soldiers. Now you're talking about an alien princess like she's more important than your duty. Before Tyler could answer, his communication device beeped with an urgent message. It was from Princess Zara, and even reading her words made his heart beat faster. "Tyler, my father wants to meet you. He's considering whether to accept our bond or forbid it forever. Please be careful. There are people who want to use our connection for their own purposes." The meeting between Tyler and Emperor Kethvar took place via quantum communication link, with both sides surrounded by their advisors and guards. Tyler had never imagined he would be speaking directly to the ruler of an interstellar empire, but the bond with Princess Zara had changed everything about his life. The Emperor studied Tyler carefully through the holographic display. "Human warrior, my daughter tells me that your souls are connected by forces older than both our civilizations. Do you believe this is true?" Tyler thought about all the dreams, the strange feelings, and the way he and the princess fought together like they shared one mind. "Your Majesty, I know it sounds impossible, but yes. When I'm with her, I feel complete in a way I never understood before, and together we can do things that neither of us could do alone." "Show me," the Emperor commanded. Princess Zara, who had been standing silently beside her father's throne, stepped forward. Even though they were separated by light years of space, Tyler could feel her presence like she was standing right next to him. Her crystal pendant began to glow, and Tyler felt his awareness expand in ways that still amazed him. Together, even across the vast distance, they demonstrated their connection. Princess Zara projected images of distant star systems directly into Tyler's mind, while his tactical knowledge helped her understand human military strategies in ways that surprised even her own generals. The Emperor watched with growing amazement. "Extraordinary. You truly are soul-bonded." He paused, considering the political implications. "But this creates problems for both our worlds. Some of my nobles are threatening rebellion if I allow this union, and I assume your leaders have similar concerns." Tyler nodded grimly. "Some people think I'm a security risk now. They want me to undergo tests to make sure the bond hasn't compromised my loyalty to Earth." Over the following days, both Tyler and Princess Zara faced increasing pressure from their respective governments. Religious leaders from both worlds debated whether their connection was a gift from the universe or something dangerous that violated natural law. Scientists wanted to study them like laboratory subjects. Politicians worried about the precedent their union would set. The most difficult moment came when Lord Commander Vorth challenged the bond according to ancient Valdorian law. As a high-ranking noble, he had the right to claim that Princess Zara should marry within their own species, to keep the royal bloodline pure. "I formally request the right of combat challenge," Vorth declared during a public ceremony. "If this human truly deserves our princess, let him prove it in honorable battle." Tyler had never fought an alien warrior before, and Valdorian combat traditions were completely different from human military training. But when he stepped into the ceremonial arena with Princess Zara watching from the royal box, he felt their bond strengthen his resolve. The fight was intense, but fair. Vorth was skilled and experienced, but Tyler's enhanced abilities and the princess's subtle mental guidance helped him adapt to the alien fighting style. When Tyler finally defeated the noble commander without seriously hurting him, even Vorth's supporters had to admit that the bond made the human warrior something special, but the victory came with a price. Tyler's success in Valdorian combat made some humans even more suspicious of his changing abilities. Dr. Warren's latest tests showed that his DNA was actually beginning to change at the cellular level, adapting to work better with Valdorian psychic energy. "The question," General Mills said during another private meeting, "is whether you're still human enough to serve in Earth's military, or whether you've become something else entirely." Tyler looked out the window at the stars, knowing that Princess Zara was somewhere out there, probably facing similar questions about her own loyalty and identity. Their bond had brought them incredible abilities and deep happiness, but it had also made them both outsiders in the worlds they had been born to serve. Neither of them knew that an ancient enemy was already moving through the darkness between stars, heading toward both their worlds with weapons that could destroy everything they loved. Soon, the question wouldn't be whether their bond was acceptable to politicians and nobles. Soon, the only question that mattered would be whether their combined power could save both species from complete annihilation. The warnings came from the edge of space, transmitted by automated deep space sensors that had been watching the galaxy's borders for centuries. At first, nobody wanted to believe the readings. Then the outer colonies went silent, one by one, and everyone knew the nightmare was real. The Void Seekers had returned. Tyler was in a strategy meeting with Earth's top military leaders when the emergency alert came through. Admiral Rodriguez's face went pale as she read the classified report. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a situation that makes our recent diplomatic challenges look like minor disagreements." The main screen filled with images from the outer rim. Territories. Entire planets had been stripped of all life, leaving behind only empty husks of rock floating in space. Cities that had stood for thousands of years were gone without a trace, as if they had never existed at all. "What kind of weapon can do this?" asked Colonel Brooks, staring at the devastation in horror. Dr. Warren, who had been studying the Valdorian archives, pulled up her research files. According to their historical records, the Void Seekers aren't just another hostile species. They're something worse. They consume reality itself, turning matter and energy into nothingness. Every civilization they've encountered has been completely destroyed. Tyler felt a chill run down his spine, and he knew it wasn't just his own fear. Through his bond with Princess Zara, he could sense her terror and desperation from across the galaxy. Her people were facing the same terrible reports. The quantum communication link activated, and Princess Zara appeared in hologram form, standing beside her father in the Imperial War Room. Her usually calm expression was replaced by barely controlled panic. "Tyler, they've already destroyed 3 of our outer systems," she said without any formal greeting. "Our most powerful warships can't even scratch their vessels. Every weapon we fire simply disappears when it gets close to them." Emperor Kethvar stepped forward, his royal composure cracking under the weight of the crisis. "Human leaders, our people have fought the Void Seekers before, thousands of years ago. We survived only by hiding in the deepest parts of space until they moved on to other galaxies. But this time, they seem to be hunting us specifically." Admiral Rodriguez leaned forward. "Your Majesty, Earth's military is at your disposal, but if your advanced weapons can't stop them, I don't know what our technology could do." Tyler stood up, feeling the bond with Princess Zara pulling at his consciousness. There might be another way. During the attack on the diplomatic base, the princess and I discovered that our abilities work better together than they do separately. What if that's the key? General Mills looked skeptical. "Sergeant, you're talking about 2 people against an enemy that's destroying entire star systems." "Not just 2 people," Princess Zara interjected. "The ancient texts speak of bonded pairs who could channel forces that normal individuals cannot access. Tyler and I have been practicing in secret, and we've discovered abilities that neither of our species has ever documented." To demonstrate, Princess Zara closed her eyes and reached out across space with her mind. Tyler felt her presence merge with his thoughts, and suddenly, his awareness expanded to include sensor data from both human and Valdorian ships scattered across the galaxy. Together, they could process information from thousands of sources simultaneously and create tactical plans that would have taken teams of experts hours to develop. Emperor Kethvar watched his daughter's demonstration with growing hope. If this is true, if the bond can create abilities that surpass what either species can achieve alone, then perhaps we have a chance. The first joint mission was launched within days. Tyler and Princess Zara, working from a specially designed command ship that could accommodate both human and Valdorian technology, coordinated the largest combined fleet in galactic history. Hundreds of human vessels flew alongside thousands of Valdorian ships, all following strategies developed by the bonded pair. The battle was unlike anything either species had ever experienced. The Void Seekers' ships moved through normal space, like sharks through water, their reality-warping weapons turning entire squadrons into nothingness with single shots. Traditional military tactics were useless against an enemy that could exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. But Tyler and Princess Zara had discovered something the Void Seekers hadn't expected. Their bond allowed them to perceive the enemy's movements across dimensional boundaries, predicting attacks before they happened, and coordinating counterstrikes with impossible precision. "All ships, attack pattern Zara 7, Tyler commanded, his enhanced tactical awareness processing data from thousands of sensors at once. "Princess, can you sense their command vessel?" "Found it," Zara replied, her psychic abilities boosted by Tyler's focused determination. "It's hiding in a dimensional pocket, but I can track its energy signature. Sending coordinates now." The combined fleet moved like a single organism, human ships providing covering fire, while Valdorian vessels channeled their psychic weapons through the dimensional barriers. For the first time in galactic history, a Void Seeker fleet was not only stopped, but completely destroyed. The victory celebration was brief. Long-range sensors detected dozens of other Void Seeker fleets converging on inhabited systems throughout the galaxy. The war was far from over, but the success of the bonded pair had proven that cooperation between species could achieve what neither could accomplish alone. Standing on the bridge of their command ship, Tyler and Princess Zara watched the stars through the viewport. Their bond had grown stronger through combat, and they could now communicate without speaking, sharing thoughts and emotions as easily as breathing. "The Emperor has agreed to our formal bonding ceremony," Zara said softly, her hand finding Tyler's. "He says that political traditions matter less than survival, and our partnership has given both our peoples hope." Tyler smiled, feeling complete in a way that still amazed him. "General Mills says the same thing. Apparently, saving the galaxy makes people more flexible about interspecies relationships." The bonding ceremony took place on a neutral space station, with representatives from both civilizations witnessing the union, as Tyler and Princess Zara exchanged vows that had been written to honor both human and Valdorian traditions. Their combined presence created a psychic resonance that could be felt throughout the station. "With this bond, we unite not just our hearts, but our worlds," Princess Zara said, her crystal pendant blazing with light that seemed to come from the stars themselves. "Together we are stronger than the sum of our parts," Tyler responded, feeling power flow between them like electricity. "Together, we will protect all those who call this galaxy home." As they kissed to seal their union, every person in the station felt a moment of perfect peace and hope. The bond between the alien princess and the human warrior had become something larger than romance. It was a bridge between worlds, a symbol of what different species could achieve when they worked together instead of apart. The war against the Void Seekers would continue for years, but Tyler and Princess Zara faced it together, leading the combined fleets with abilities that grew stronger with each passing day. Their children would be the first of a new kind of being, carrying the best qualities of both species and the promise of an even brighter future. The princess had discovered more than just her bonded mate. She had found her destiny as a bridge between civilizations, while the human warrior learned that his greatest battles would be fought not with weapons alone, but with the power of connection that could unite the stars themselves.